We're here today to introduce Nick Short, our advanced case consultant, who's provided to us by Power Financial. He is here to talk about why high net worth clients would ever consider insurance as an asset class. We refer to this as the insured asset class. Thanks, Nick, for taking your time.
Thanks, Tim. My name is Nick Short, and I'm an advanced case consultant with Great-West Life. I work with firms in the Toronto area, including the Han Group. Today we're going to talk about why affluent people implement these types of insurance plans in their net worths. A lot of the times when I sit down at meetings with the affluent, they tell me that I don't think I need insurance. And I tend to actually agree with them, because for traditional purposes, their assets have gotten to a certain point where if they were to pass away, their families would be okay. But what I do understand is this. Over time, and as your income and your assets grow, the reason that you will look at insurance changes. At the beginning, when assets and income are lower, people implement insurance to make sure that their families are okay if they don't come home tonight. But over time, they start to look at the insurance as a alternative to fixed income investing, a strategic diversification of their portfolios, or a medley of estate planning terms. When it's down here, people really think of it as a cost. And that cost gets, that type of insurance gets lumped in with their car insurance, their liability insurance, their home insurance. When it's up here, people think of it as more of a deposit. And they're going to lump it in with things like their RSPs, their TFSAs. These are all things that people make deposits in with the expectation of profit in the future. So lots of the affluent people get their heads around, they don't need insurance, but they could be using insurance strategically. The other thing is, where does the insurance fit in their portfolios? Because we know these individuals are going to have lots of different boxes of investments in their portfolio. For example, fixed income, equities, real estate, business value, and now we're asking them to look at insurance to be a portion of their net worth. The reason insurance fits very nicely is when I evaluate someone's assets, or any of these assets, I look at what's the growth of this asset? What's the tax treatment of this asset? How do I get money if I need it, so accessibility? What's my time required to manage this asset? And at the end, what happens when I'm gone to this asset, so distribution. So insurance is very simple. The growth is very conservative. Most of these funds, or most of these policies, are derived from a large participating fund. Many of these participating funds are in the billions of dollars, but they're primarily fixed income assets with very low standard deviations, so not a lot of volatility. The tax treatment on these policies is anything that grows inside the policy is exempt from taxation. Another good thing. If you need money from this insurance policy, there's lots of ways to access it, and there's better ways to access it dependent on your situation. Your time required in this policy to manage the policy is very, very little. And that's a benefit in my mind, because what it gives you is the time required to manage your other things in your life, or the time required to manage some of your other assets. So this becomes very positive. And at the end of the day, it's distribution. It's 100% tax-free. So I simply tell clients that it's like they bought the house beside them, and the second they passed away, their family's got the fair market value of that house, 100% tax-free, in 8 to 10 business days. I'd also like to talk to you about someone's wealth cycle, the affluent wealth cycle. What we've found in people's wealth cycle is the following. When they get into the workforce, what they want to do is build their assets. So they are in true growth, the growth phase of their net worth. At some point in time, these individuals are going to go from not earning earned income to earning investment income. And three things are going to happen with these people's portfolios. Either it's going to go down slightly, either it's going to stay the same because they're just going to spend their interest, or potentially, based on the size and when they do retire and what amount of lifestyle requirement they need, their portfolio could easily go up as well. The reality of going down, sideways, or up is that there's typically a large portion after financial planning is done that is going to be transferred to the next generation. And that next generation can be their children, their grandchildren, their favorite charity, whomever that their next generation is. But the reality of them being the custodian of this money that is never going to be spent in their lifetime is they have to pay tax on the money from here to here. And if they're in real estate, for example, and that means they're not going to pay tax along the way, they're going to get the tax here. So when we're looking at insurance, what we're saying is don't take all this money, but take a portion of these dollars and put them into an insurance policy. And what that does is it eliminates the tax on those assets, but also increases their net worth. So not only are we getting these three scenarios for their net worth, but we're layering it with a large insurance policy as well. These are some of the things that we go through with clients, and especially at the Hahn Group. If you have any other questions, feel free to give them a call. Thank you very much for your time.